Hey guys, the Crochet Witch. So we also went to Hobby Lobby on our day off, and I thought I would do just a tour around the store, well, around the yarn aisle, let's be honest. Um, they ended up having a lot. I mean, I knew there was a lot, but this video we're gonna do the first both sides of the aisle, just to show you some new and existing stuff. Like here is the hanks, and they already had hanks of yarn that were existing. But there are some new ones, and what I ended up deciding to do for most of this video is I tried to give you like a long shot of it and then kind of focus in on at least the names of each type, because even in the hanks there are different types. Like these are the authentic hand-dyed tonals, and that's a whole collection. I will be making another trip because there's a whole other aisle to do. I was just running out of battery space, basically, or battery and space on my phone, I should say. Um, and David was running out of patience. He's very kind on our day off to go and do this again with me because we were already in town doing some errands, and I decided I really needed to take a trip to Hobby Lobby and show you guys. So, yeah, here we were. But then, like this set right here of the, hand-dyed, these were newer, to me anyway, and I haven't been in Hobby Lobby in a while, which is why I decided to do the whole aisle, because, some of them that are newer to me may not be new for those of you who are at Hobby Lobby, like, all the time. Some of these were so beautiful, too. Wait till we get to the ones at the top. That was like the piece de resistance for me in this section, you guys. These are so pretty. Look at these. Look at, you can really see it on the darker one, but I was trying to show it off in the light. I know you can see it in this darker one that I'm about to touch. Like look at that glitter right there. All of these along the top had the glitter, but you could really see it in this one and in the blue. Oh, they're just gorgeous. Hobby Lobby has some very pretty of the hand-dyed hanks. And they've just expanded like crazy. These were some of the ones they had before, I believe. I have a couple of them, a couple of those orange and red ones right there. But they've had a lot of the speckled ones before. I think they had on their last clearance sale, they had a color or two of them and replaced them, but then they like went crazy with all these other ones. So I had to show you guys. Those striped ones right there with the rainbow, those are so pretty. They remind me of some 80s kids stuff. I really love those. And I love these tonal ones too, the single colored ones that are tonal, because they're good to mix, especially with your knit crate yarns that we don't quite know what to do with some of them. I feel like these are good to mix in with some of those, depending on the fiber content, of course, but I did spend a great deal of time in this little section here just because there was so much to see. So pretty. And you can see already by the length of this video that one aisle took a substantial amount of time as it was. So that's why we have to go back for round 2 also. But I know Hobby Lobbies are not outside of the US as far as I know. I know that definitely my Canadian friends love some Hobby Lobby things. So I wanted you guys to all be able to see what's been on our shelves, at least. These pigment and fiber sets, some of these were on the last clearance sale too. I thought they were getting rid of them, but they just moved them down with the hand-dyed. So here's a lot of the bulkier stuff. These romantiques are pretty soft. As you can see, most of them are pretty fluffy looking. They're all the same amount of soft, but some of them are a little fluffier looking than others. That one's very fluffy looking. And I know I did try to get a lot of the specs if you need to like pause it and take a look or anything. I believe I got a lot of the colors on some of these. I was trying to avoid a few shoppers. So if there's ever any questions or if you need me to like go back and film a little something extra, that's fine. Just let me know. As you can see, this is the like the eyelash tinsel yarn, and they have a huge selection of all the different colors. And then this is regular eyelash yarn. It's super soft. I know a few of you guys had not heard of eyelash yarn before, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm always, well, not always, but when I talk about it. It's just kind of a novelty section that they have going on here because it's not for every project, it's not for everyone, but it does add a little bit of flair. And then this is the Yarn Bee version of the Lion Brand faux fur. And I believe they do have some Lion Brand faux fur version or so of it coming up also. But they have for those of you who don't have Hobby Lobby, so you know, they have their own line. They have two, I believe, lines of yarn. Yarn Bee is one of them. And they have little offshoots of that. They have like Baby Bee for the baby yarns and stuff like that. But then they carry some stuff like they have Lion Brand here. We're going to see some Red Heart. Not Super Saver, but there's some Red Heart yarn down here also. I believe this is Bernat at the bottom. They also have, or have had some Premier. I know they had some Nordica before, and I believe they have some Bloom, or did. Mostly I shop the big clearance sales that you hear about. So that's what I remember what they have or had. And then by that time, they don't have them anymore. The Bernat Casa yarn was interesting, but it is a lot of it is a blanket yarn consistency. So I was not really about that. Mustard. The color is mustard. They have a lot of uncreative names in Hobby Lobby, I will say. But I think the fact that they have a million shelves, it seems like, of yarn more than makes up for their uncreativity, because almost every color seems to have like an olive and a mustard, and then things that are just called white, things like that. They're not the most creative lot, but you know, we can forgive things that have multitudes of yarn, right? So I've never used some of these yarns. I've used things like the faux fur type of yarn, obviously, and it's very similar. This is if you've made my Santa's favorite hat, this is the type of yarn that I use for the trim, is the faux fur. So if you have a Hobby Lobby, this is a good place to find a substitute if you don't have actual faux fur from Lion Brand. Which I need to remember because they do have different colors than Lion Brand. That one funky pink and blue that was back there, that's a fun color. And they do have velvet yarns, as you can see. Sparkly velvet yarns at that. They're very pretty. Velvet yarns also not a big high on my list, but that's okay. Others really enjoy it, so I wanted to make sure to show off the colors that they do have. This particular Hobby Lobby was pretty well stocked too. There wasn't very many blank spots, at least not in this aisle. And almost every yarn that they have quite a few selections of colors too, and not just like 2 or 3. And there's a whole rainbow of the Stitch 101. Which I haven't worked with it myself, but it's an interesting yarn. Oh, more back to the velvet yarn. They were a little all over with I think it's just because there's so many colors that they were just a little all over, because the velvet yarn starts below and kind of boxes in the Stitch 101 yarn. And then we moved on to like scrubby yarn, but at the bottom was some sport weight yarn, so it's a little bit random. And I love this yarn. When I said they had a couple of different like house brands, they had the Yarn Bee, and then they have I Love This Yarn. So either one of those is Hobby Lobby exclusive if you come across any. They have different scrubby type yarns. Like this is your basic, it comes in different colors, but this is your basic like scrubby yarn that they call Scrubology 2.0. And why do they call it 2.0? You'll see in just a moment. And I'm guessing this is probably, I don't use a lot of any of this kind of yarn, but this is probably the least popular of the Scrubology and the Scrubology 2.0. For those of you who haven't seen the original namesake, you are about to in just a second. They seem to have stuck this lily and cream, peaches and cream or whatever in between it, but here is the original Scrubology that people go nuts for, or Scrub It, I guess this is, no, it's Scrubology, Scrub It. There's a ton of colors, and people love to make like the dish scrubbies and things like that out of it. Maybe combining Scrubology and Scrubology 2.0 would make a nice dish scrubby also. Yeah, and then the sport weight yarn just kind of continues up until we run into these beautiful blended yarns, the Katarina yarns. There's quite a few color combinations. They've had these in the sales, and they're a really nice lightweight yarn. And then the 44th Street is also a really lightweight yarn, and they've had this around for quite a while. They are now in the skein, whatever you want to call it, but see how they have the cakes up here? Like I'm picking up a skein right now, but they have the cakes right there. That was a little worse for wear, but that's originally how they came. But it's the same yarn. They're just now making it in skein form. So, same colors, they have more colors than they used to. I suppose once it got a little more popular, and I think after the last clearance sale, they started putting them in. And there's my reflection. Hi, guys. I'm sure I look like a crazy person in the stores now that I'm doing voiceover ones too, because I'm just kind of like randomly talking to David, or if he's wandered off, I'm just silently running my camera around all the all the yarn. I probably look like somebody just like taking note of every yarn in the store. Like I might need this information for later. I have not used Yarntopia yet, but oh, and this was another section that was messed up really bad. But I have used this yarn, is what I was going to say. I actually have a shawl that will probably end up on a Whip Weekend project. I need to get it done by Halloween. It's a Halloween shawl. It's actually these two colors right here. I was pretty happy to see them. They still have them together. But the Soft and Sleek DK, I like that orange, or that yellow right there, that gold yellow too. I was happy to see they still have these. I thought they were clearancing them out for the longest time, because one year they had quite a few of the colors on sale. But luckily, no, they still have them. Here's the red heart that I was talking about, which is the Roll With It Melange. And I actually have a yarn comparison video that if you've ever wanted to try like the cookie yarn from Hobie, these are pretty much the same yarn. There are some color differences, but there's not even a lot of color differences, honestly. I think Hobie has additional colors, but yeah, they're pretty similar should you want to pick them up. I love this little pack. I want to get this when I buy yarn frivolously or if it goes on clearance because I just love the fact that they matched up Halloween colors. But I also thought these were being clearanced out last year or the year before, and they just gave them their own little section down here. But they're just a little pack. And then they have these gorgeous highlights, they're called. And as you can probably see pretty well, I think, on this like clip, there's some glitter to it. And it's just gorgeous. Like, this yarn is so pretty. And they classify it as a 3 light, which is pretty accurate, I would say. Look at that sparkle. Oh, it's so pretty. I definitely want to, like I said, when I buy a little more frivolously, or if they put this on clearance, I want to get some of it. And then they have Spiness. Which is, again, it's another nice lightweight yarn. It comes in quite a few colors, even different shades of white. So we have the ivory and the regular white. And then these gorgeous cakes up here make some very nice shawls. Oh, that one's so pretty. So is that one. So is that one. Oh, that one's so pretty. I had to point it out in the video too. And then they have these just cute little like 99-cent small projects, maybe small amigurumis, maybe you're just looking to make up some granny square fillers, whatever you need some small project yarn for. It's just some little craft yarn. Maybe you're teaching somebody to crochet and they only need a little bit to practice with. It's just a little cheap filler kind of thing. Make flower bouquets, the rose yarn bouquets. Good ideas there, I'm just saying. And then, oh, this is the soft and sleek section, and I know a lot of people are fans of this. I'm also a fan of this. I used some purple of this, and it is pretty, like, lush. I mean, it doesn't look like it's terribly fancy, but it feels really nice. It's, as it says, soft. And it is anti-pilling. It's pretty comparable to, like, the Premier anti-pilling, I believe. Pretty comparable to the Walmart anti-pilling also, I believe. It's a lot of similar, there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of different colors of this. I didn't expect Hobby Lobby to have this many. I should have, but I didn't expect them to have this many colors of it. I wanted this color to show up so badly, and my camera didn't pick it up. It looks, now that I'm looking at it with you guys, it looks a little better than when I was looking at it through the camera before. But I was trying so hard, different lights against the white floor. I just wanted it to show up against different greens. But it's just this really pretty, like, sagey green. And you can see it a little bit better, like I said, now. But that's when I really noticed my camera doesn't like to show up greens, especially to me as I'm recording. Sometimes it has an issue with some purples too, but it really doesn't love the greens for some reason. Look at that neon and black. It's so pretty down there. It's just screaming 80s at me. And there's so many different choices with if you're just a fan of the anti-pilling acrylic. It's very nice yarn. And I believe it's every other week or so that they do the sale where the yarn is 30% off. So if you get it at the right time, because I don't think they do their online coupons anymore. They even have some with glitter now. It's so pretty. I think the last time I went looking, they did not have a glittery version of any of them. It reminds me a little bit of the Red Heart with Love feel, if maybe that's a little more familiar. But it's, like I said, it's anti-pilling. Or low pilling, as the name says. I'm sorry. See, there's another mustard. I told you their names are not the most creative, but that's okay. The warm and cozy was pretty nice to feel too. I apologize if you can hear a slight noise behind me. I'm not sure how much my microphone's going to pick up, but I can hear Abby snoring through the door, so she must be pretty relaxed out there. It's a nice, like, rainy, windy day here, so, like, everything's pretty chill at the house. Good day for yarn looking, though, right? Who am I kidding? Any day's a good day for that. The rustic romantique is a really nice line while I'm talking about them. I know that Miss Sandy from Crochet A is a big fan of those and highly endorses them. And then these cakes are very nice. The sugar wheels, these are the sugar wheels. They do have a cotton variation also that are a little bit smaller, but they're very nice. They're not the softest thing ever, but they are, they kind of remind me of maybe Bernat Pop because they're a little bit thicker and they're not the softest thing ever, but they're nice. They are nice, and I like using them. They're not harsh by any means. They're just not, like, we just looked at all that low pilling acrylic that I said was so very soft, and we're about to look at all the basic I Love This yarns, which is also a very soft yarn. I think I just go through this pretty quickly because almost this whole aisle is I Love This yarn, which is their basic, like, comparable to kind of Red Heart Super Saver as far as their basic yarn, but it is very soft. And they have a lot of colors. I don't think I've ever seen a store that carries like every single Red Heart color, so I guess I can't say it's more or less because I know Red Heart Super Saver has a lot of colors if you were to put them all like together. So I don't know that it's more or less of that, but there's a lot, and they come, as you can see, in glitter. I tried to show you the stats of the solids compared to, like, this is a print. So the prints slash variegateds have a slightly different amount of yardage and such. Or I wanted to show you if they did, but they're the 100% acrylic. They're not anti-pilling, but they are a very nice yarn. They're pretty affordable compared to their other yarns. Well, I mean, all of their yarns they're not terrible, but these are the cheaper version for the more yarn. And then, yeah, like I said, they have metallic, they have regular, they have tweeds, they have almost anything that you can think of, it seems like. And if they haven't yet, they probably have in the past, or they probably will in the future, because they come out with a lot of different ones. A few shades here and there go on clearance and make room for other ones also. And they seem to keep the basics. Like, there's quite a bit of the regular white, there's quite a bit of the regular black. I believe there's quite a bit of like the grays or the beiges. See, they even have like tweed with the neon tweeds. So pretty. I know I get with it in a second, and I just kind of go a little bit quicker through these. Because there was quite a bit of, like I said, of these particular ones. There's quite a bit of ground to cover. But I wanted to make sure to give you guys an idea. So if there's something you maybe wanted to look up, I know that if you're in the US anyway, you can order online, I believe, from Hobby Lobby. If there's not one in your area, I believe you can. I don't think that you can outside of the country, unfortunately, because otherwise I'm sure my Canadian friends would be not salivating every time we talk about Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry, you guys. You know I love you. But yeah, there's, like, as you can see, there's almost every basic shade has like a sparkle to it also, or a tweed, or both. Surprise stripe, that was so pretty. Some of the variegated or the different types, like this one, I tried to show you names to. I know that I skipped some of them, but I do try a little bit. At this point, my battery was getting pretty low again, so, or still, I should say. So, I wanted to get the aisle finished, but try to be thorough. So even the Christmas yarn has a glittery version of it, but not the patriotic yarn. And see, once again, like the yellow, there's 2 or 3 slots of the yellow, so like your basic colors, like your primary colors, they do tend to well stock in the store anyway, it seems like. So just gorgeous bursts of color on some of these. There's some color combinations in the variegateds and such that I would not have thought of, honestly, and that I've never seen on other yarns. Not that that's a bad thing. Like, they're just so pretty. Jazzed stripe. Some of these names are a little bit better. Dappled wheat. I would have thought that would be brown if you said that name to me, but, you know, whatever. There's some of the dotted ones. Hopefully these greens are showing very well for you guys. There's even a camo one. So pretty. I love the ones that have the black, like this one, like running through it, the marled black ones. And I love the glitter ones. I do love a lot of these. Like, the name is it's well named, because I do love a lot of these. This one is pretty popular with people. Painted Canyon. I'm not in love with it myself. Not as much as other ones, but it is pretty popular, I've noticed. So I like stuff like this one. I like Citrus Punch quite a bit. I really should get some of those, actually. Like, I feel like I have a similar one, but I don't have Citrus Punch. There's quite a bit of blue selection. There's quite a bit of every color selection. I know. It's just so pretty. There's a little bit of yarn that has been abused, but some of it I just couldn't put back well. But all in all, this aisle wasn't too bad this time, honestly. Oh, I love that glitter yarn to the right there. That deep aqua. I think I'm about to show it again now on the left, but no, maybe I'm not. You might just get a glimpse of it right there. Oh, it's so pretty. And coming back down into the purples. Purple glitter. And then we head to the neutrals. So it's pretty well organized too, which is nice. Not just a bunch of chaos thrown in. Like my Walmart store with the red heart yarn is pretty much, it seems to be pretty much just chaos as far as the colors and where they're thrown together and stuff. This is nice. Brights. I really like that. I imagine pairing that with like a black yarn or a white yarn. So pretty. Very, very bright. There's so many of the neon-y colors. It looks like they have a subcategory of I love this yarn neon, which I was amused by. That's pretty. I'm saying this like I'm shopping with you guys now. Like I went through it pretty quick. Now I'm just like, ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, look at that. Oh, I like that gray and black marl too. Oh, I like these too. So pretty. I think I have a blue in that like marly one right there. Like, oh, they're so pretty. Like a tweedy looking one. I don't know what to call that. It's just called a print, but I don't know what to call that exactly. When we finally reached the end of that and we moved to a different type of yarn, the Breathe Deep. This is a chain spun. And like, I think they were going for something like feels like butter yarn with these. I will say it's not quite as soft as that because that's just like luscious under your hands, but it's definitely got the look of it. It's not a harsh yarn by any means. It's just if you've used something like Feels Like Butter or the Michaels version when they had that with the loops and threads, you'll know what I mean. That stuff really does feel like butter. But it's not. This is not a bad yarn. And then they have the glowing yarn, which is really popular with people. I know I have a color of it stocked up, but I haven't used it yet. But it's very pretty yarn. Like almost all of the glowings are, because they're a mixture, like a marbled mixture of color, and it's so pretty. They're very soft. I see now there's 40% polyester and 60% acrylic, so that makes a little bit of sense. Then we got polyamide in this one, in the Yarn ID, which I haven't used either. It feels fine. I like the fact that the label looks really like rustic or easily recyclable. I do really like that. And then the Soft Secret, which is a lot like Caron Simply Soft to me. I'd call it Hobby Lobby's version of it. I did end up, I do not like Caron Simply Soft that much. Like, I have nothing against it. I just don't like to use it, I guess. It's not a terrible yarn or anything. But I still ended up getting this black actually right here and a purple that you'll see later when I talked about making a hat for my new friend in the band that I met, because he likes black and purple also. So I decided to go with this since I could not find black at my Walmart for that Overjoyed yarn that I was looking for. So this was, if you double this yarn up, it's a pretty good stand-in for the Overjoyed yarn if you want to use that, in my opinion. And there's a lot more colors. And you get more yarn, obviously. Like, I doubled it up and I'm still going to have enough for another hat, which I would not with the other yarn. So, and there's a lot more colors. Like, Hobby Lobby does it up with the colors, I'll say that. There's not very many of their yarns that they put out with just a couple of colors. Especially, like, I imagine it would be smart business. I imagine if something is caught on that they just overdo it with all. Well, they don't overdo it. It's nice to have color choices, right? But they really pump out the colors when stuff. There's a lot of choices. And then the Urban Chic, which has been several colors of it have been in each of the clearance sales. There's a lot of different pretty colors with that. I know this video is about to cut off on me too, so I will just say there will be a part 2 as long as you guys want it and didn't get extremely bored and hate this, because this was only one aisle. I do have another aisle to go through, but like I said, my camera was dying and I wanted to get this out for you guys so you could see what was going on in my Hobby Lobby. And for those of you not in the country, you could see what was going on in Hobby Lobbies, and have at least a kind of detailed walkthrough. If there's anything specific in this aisle that you want to see, let me know. I'll try to put it in the next video for you. And yeah, while I'm showing off the last of this yarn, I'll just say, you know, I appreciate you and all the new subscribers and everybody who's been around. And I love you guys so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this and that you like spending time with me. And I will see you in the next one, which will be very soon. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.